Ever heard of a triple bogey that wasn't about the score? Well, brace yourselves. Our tale begins with a man playing golf with his wife. They approached a hole where she'd hit a shot off the fairway, landing behind a quaint little barn. She stood there, puzzled, but her husband, ever the problem solver, had an idea. "We can open the back door and also the front door," he told her, "and you can hit straight through." She agreed, but her shot was anything but straight. It hit the side of the barn, ricocheted back, and struck her in the head. Tragically, she didn't survive the accident. Fast forward a couple of years, and the same man has remarried. He and his new wife are playing the same course, and wouldn't you know it, she hits her ball in the exact same spot as his previous wife. The man stood there, a puzzled look on his face, as his wife asked, "What's wrong?" He hesitated for a moment, then responded, his voice heavy with the weight of the past. "I was just remembering that the last time I played this hole, I had a triple bogey." Now, for those unacquainted with golf, a bogey is a score of 1 over par, and a triple bogey, as the name suggests, is 3 over. But in this case, the triple bogey wasn't about the score, but a tragic memory tied to the hole. The humor here, if you can call it that, is a bit dark, as the man equates the unfortunate incident with a poor score in golf. Perhaps it serves as a reminder to all of us that while golf is a game of precision and strategy, it's also a game that should be played with care. After all, nobody wants to end up with an unfortunate triple bogey. And that, folks, is the story of the most unfortunate triple bogey in the history of golf. Golf can be a game of life and death, quite literally. Here's a story to prove it. Let's take a step onto the green and meet a golfer whose round was anything but ordinary. Picture this: a sunny day, a well-manicured golf course, and our golfer ready to conquer the day with his buddies, including his loyal friend Frank. Little did they know that their game would turn into an unfortunate round. As they were enjoying their game, something unexpected happened on the 3rd hole. Frank, one of the playing partners, suddenly had a heart attack. Tragically, he didn't make it. Now, you'd think that this would put an end to the game, but our golfer, albeit shocked and saddened, decided to continue the game. After all, he thought, it's what Frank would have wanted. And so the round went on, but with a tragic twist. You see, every hole became a solemn reminder of their lost friend. With each hit of the ball, our golfer had to drag Frank along. It became a round of hit the ball and drag Frank. Once a game of skill and strategy, it had turned into a somber procession. When he finally reached the clubhouse, his wife was eager to hear about his day. She expected tales of birdies and bogeys, not a tragic tale of loss. Her husband looked at her with tired eyes, the weight of the day heavy on his shoulders, and said, "Terrible." The wife, shocked and empathetic, agreed, "This was terrible." But our golfer's reply wasn't what she expected. He looked at her and said, "You're telling me? It was 15 holes of hit the ball and drag Frank, hit the ball and drag Frank, hit the ball and drag Frank." So my friends, the moral of the story is this: golf can be a game of life and death, but it's also a game of camaraderie and remembrance. And remember, it's all fun and games until you have to drag Frank. Ever seen a preacher curse on a golf course? Here's a story that might tickle your funny bone. Imagine a bright, sunny day, perfect for a round of golf. On this day, a minister, known for his skillful swings and a calm demeanor, decides to indulge in the game. Now, this minister, he's not just a man of God, but a man of the greens. He could put a ball through the eye of a needle, or so it's said. But, as we all know, even the best have their off days. On this particular day, the minister's game was, let's just say, less than divine. He takes his stance, eyes the ball, swings, and thwack, the ball soars, not towards the green, but veering off into the rough. A collective gasp goes up from his playing partners. They know the minister has a reputation to uphold, not just for his golfing prowess, but for his unshakable calm. One cheeky partner, smirking, dares to challenge the minister. "Go ahead, preacher," he urges, "say it." But the minister simply shakes his head. He's not about to break his principles over a bad shot. Fast forward a few holes, and the minister's game isn't improving. Another swing, another miss. The same partner, now more eager, nudges the minister. "Come on, preacher, say it. You know you want to." The minister, not one to be easily perturbed, gives him a knowing look and says, I tell you what, you write it down and I'll sign it. A hearty round of laughter follows. It's clear the minister, despite his off day, hasn't lost his spirit. He's found a clever way to keep his calm, uphold his principles, and add a touch of humor to the game. So next time you hit a bad shot, remember the preacher's trick. You don't need to curse the wind or the club or even the golfing gods. Just let your buddies write it down and you can sign it off with a smile. Golf can be a funny game, especially when you forget to empty your pockets. Here's a hilarious anecdote. So there we were, just wrapping up a round of golf and deciding to grill some steaks back at my place. Now, tradition dictates that the player with the worst score has to foot the dinner bill. Unfortunately, that player was me this time. As I was selecting the best cuts of meat, I noticed a striking blonde woman following me around the supermarket. Every now and then, I'd glance over my shoulder and she'd flash me a dazzling smile. But after a while, I noticed her gaze drifting downwards, towards my crotch. I was perplexed until I realized I had left 2 golf balls in my pocket. Her intrigue seemed to turn into confusion, and finally she couldn't hold back her curiosity any longer. With a puzzled look on her face, she said, "Honey, what's going on down there?" I couldn't help but chuckle, and I told her, "It's just some golf balls." Her face turned serious, and she said, "I'm sorry to hear that, sweetie. I bet that hurts a lot worse than tennis elbow." And that, my friends, is why you should always remember to empty your pockets before heading to the supermarket. Because you never know when you might have to explain why you're walking around with golf balls in your pockets. Remember, always check your pockets before you hit the supermarket. Ever wondered how long it would take a 20 handicap amateur to reach the green? Here's a caddy's witty response. Picture this. A clear day on the golf course, the sun is shining, and the fairways are lush. Out on the course is an amateur golfer. He's not the best, not the worst, sitting comfortably with a 20 handicap. He's standing in the fairway, eyeing up an approach shot to the green. In his hand, he's got a 9-iron, and he's looking at his caddy, a seasoned veteran who's seen it all. The golfer, an ambitious sort, asks his caddy, "Do you think I can get there with this?" His eyes are on the green, but his caddy's eyes are on him. The caddy, unflappable as always, doesn't bat an eye. He's slowly cleaning his nails with a tee, the very picture of nonchalance. He takes a moment, considering the question, the player, the distance, the 9-iron in the golfer's hand, and then he responds. His answer? A simple, eventually. It's a punchline that lands with the weight of a well-placed putt, a gentle reminder of the golfer's ambition and the caddy's experience. It's a moment of levity on the green, a shared laugh between player and caddy. So next time you're unsure of your shot, remember, you'll get there. Eventually. We've had quite a laugh with these golfing jokes, haven't we? We started with the notorious triple bogey tale, moved on to the unfortunate round with poor Frank, then to the preacher's bad shot. Remember the hilarious tennis elbow comparison? And let's not forget the caddy's witty eventually comment. Each joke had its own charm and humor, didn't it? Now I want to know, which one did you find the funniest? Drop your votes in the comments below and let's see which joke takes the trophy.